This is a great crowd. This is Comics with Shower.
Yeah.
My name is Peter Lou. I'm going to be your host. Yes, Comics with Shower. That is the only prerequisite to get on this show. Yet most comics fail to meet that expectation. If not all. Sure. I'm actually considering changing the name to Comics Who Are Showering. You know, see if we get a bigger audience. Just see if we get. Oh man, yeah. You know, Mike Kaplan called this show a gateway drug to real comedy. But no, I'm glad I started this show. You know, in its first year, we've already had so many highlights, right? You know, Mike Kaplan gave us a slogan. Gerard de Guzman was hilarious, and you know, Gary Goldman refused to do the show. Mark Norman left me on red. Show up. My parents told me to quit, but let's, you know, that fazed me. Yeah, we have a great show for you tonight. If you're currently unmuted or with your cameras on, please unmute your. No, that didn't make any sense. If you're currently muted with your cameras off, please, you know, either, you know, turn on your camera or unmute yourselves, or do both if you're feeling extra fancy. I know most of you are already doing that, so thank you very much. John, you brought a couple from Canada. You brought what looks like the return of Albert Einstein. Nick. That is a beautiful beard, my man. That's hard to replicate. Yeah. Tonight we have a wonderful lineup for you guys. I'm excited. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, I'm gonna go. Get me. I showered but smell like I don't. That means you didn't, Matt. That's okay. It's called comedy, not lying. I can tell your brain's already. You're figuring out the rebuttal right now. I can see it. Okay, what do I want to talk about today? COVID's still a thing, right? And you know, I think you know, since the beginning of the COVID, there's been a spike in, you know, hate crimes towards Asians. Sorry, a lot of white dudes been having bad days. Let me get that right. You know, I think it's unfortunate that, you know, minorities got to deal with hate crimes after like catastrophic events, right? You know, Asians after COVID, Muslims after 9/11, Black people after white people discovered Black people. Yeah. But you know, in the beginning of COVID, this Chinese woman in New York City was actually attacked for wearing a face mask by a Black guy. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? I thought we were supposed to be allies after everything we've been through. Rush Hour 1, 2, and say you keep this up, there's gonna be no Rush Hour 4. But yeah, you know, this most recent wave of hate crimes have been towards elderly Asian people, still mostly by, you know, other minority groups and different types of people, and that's really messed up, because, you know, if anyone deserves to commit violence towards old Asian people, it's young Asian people. Like decades, centuries of tiger parenting. Like, their words are hurtful. Get in line. That's what I'm trying to say. Get in line. I just moved, guys. So I put my my apartment up on Craigslist, and when you put your stuff up on Craigslist, you get some weird people. This one guy was interested in a room, so I'm like, hey, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and when you're looking to move? And he said, oh, I'm a 43-year-old construction worker. I moved in with my girlfriend too soon. And now I need to be smarter than I am lonely. It's a good start, right? Because at least he's being honest. And then he's like, I'm quiet. I keep to myself. I like Pokemon, not for life, but for hobby. I think it's funny that he had to clarify that Pokemon was a hobby and not his So I'm talking to him, right? I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a big room, you know, access the attic, plenty of storage. And he's like, oh my God, I'll take it right now. I got a bunch of anime dolls and no place to store them. I'm like, all right. You don't want to at least like check it out first? And he said, my situation with my girl is really going downhill. I'm afraid I might lose my TV. Plus, you seem like a solid dude. If we could lock it up right now, I'll throw in some legendaries. Now, legendaries. He said, yeah, holographic legendaries. Like, you talking about Pokemon cards. He's like, yeah, I got a first edition Zapdos. Should knock a few $100 off rent. Do you trade? Now, I was confused for multiple reasons because, you know, usually when an adult asks you that question, it's about stocks. And two, this 43-year-old man just tried to negotiate a rental application with Pokemon cards. I assume he would do the same with utilities, right? Like, oh, I'll give you a Pikachu for electricity, Squirtle for water, and a Charmander for when my girlfriend burns the place down. I was supposed to meet up with this guy, right? And he didn't show up. So, you know, I got ghosted by the Pokemon guy. Sorry, I got Gengar'd by the Pokemon guy. I don't like getting ghosted, so I looked this guy up on Facebook, right? James O'Reilly, first guy that shows up. Relationship status is complicated. I'm like, this is the right guy. Also, first time that's been an accurate description of a relationship, right? Matt is laughing at his own tag. First and only laugh I've heard for the night, by the way, but that's just fun. My dad is my hero. I'll just start doing his jokes. But yeah, look him up, and I was surprised because he's a huge guy. He's like 6 feet tall, jacked, and and it kind of makes sense, right? Because like a smaller man would have been bullied out of his hobbies much earlier in life. So I sent him one last message. I'm like, hey man, you know, you send me your credit, your W-2, your driver's license, everything. Then you show up. What happened? Day passes. Messages me back. He's like, sorry man, couldn't make it. Gonorrhea scare.
Oh, jeez.
No hard feelings. I was like, no, sorry, man. No problem, man. I hope you catch them all. Then a Pokemon. I'm happy with that. All right, let's get this show started. Woo. Awesome. All right, I'm going to bring up your first comic of tonight. She is wonderful, all the way from Tufts. Put your hands together for Erika Chen, everyone.
Yay. Alrighty. It's nice because you guys are really old, which means money. Give me my social security. You know, I do political science. So, you know, this is called grassroots, reaching out to grassroots right now. Give me my social security. This is how we make change happen. But yeah, COVID's really hit hard when it comes to like getting internships. Either they're just not happening, they don't know what they're doing for the summer, or they're lying to me and they just don't want me. I don't know. It's not fair. But, you know, I was shooting my shot with California Representative Ted Lieu because I'm like, okay, he's Chinese. I'm Chinese. Help a sister out. And I was like so proud of my resume because like I'm like proud of like the work that I've done. And I just remember thinking like, you know what, I got this in the bag. He can't hate me for any problems. But I didn't hear back from him. And I was like, what happened? What happened, Ted? What happened here? And I looked back at my resume and I made a typo. And like It was bad in that under relevant courses, instead of writing Intro to American Politics, I had written Intro to American Potatoes. Man thinks I'm a farmer. You know, like I'm from Ohio, so he saw my resume. Okay, we got a girl here who says she's from Ohio and says she knows potatoes. This girl knows dirt. That's all she knows. She just knows dirt. She don't know anything else. You know, we don't grow corn over here in California. But like political science is all about being like bullshitting your way through things, right? Like weaving your way through arguments. California has no water. I can't farm over there. You know? Like all that water was used on Carl's sugar baby's lawn in Beverly Hills last Tuesday. I can't grow my potatoes there. You know, what am I supposed to do? Uproot my whole life, bring my husband and my kids to California chasing a dream. And they ask, Mommy, how's the farm doing? And I'm saying, it's fine, kids, everything's fine. But no, we're living by the beach because housing issues and there's no land and there's fires and there's sand everywhere. I can't grow potatoes in sand. My family's going hungry. American dream is a lie. Another thing I don't really understand is the concept of political parties. You know, you got Republican Party, you got Democratic Party, Independent Party. Why are they called parties? Where's the fucking party? You know, so a lot of people are in them. You know, you got half the country that goes to one party, the other half goes the other. Where are the kegs? Where are my broskies? You know, a Ford Fiesta has more party than the Democratic and Republican Party combined. You know, and I was like so hyped when I learned that there was this tea party. I'm like, I watched Alice in Wonderland. That sounds so fun. You know, we want to get that green tea. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alrighty. No, it's just a bunch of old angry rich white dudes. It's false advertising. It's false advertising. But yeah, political parties. You know, your friends trying to get you to go to this party, and you're like, oh, who's gonna be there? Yeah, we got Ted, we got Mitch, Nancy, Chuck, and Diane. That's a registry for a funeral home. That's not a fucking party. Yeah, the weather's getting a lot nicer out, and I'm like really excited. You know, a girlfriend of mine, we were like super excited. You know, so we were starting wearing some cute outfits. You know, showing our clavicles. You know, showing some ankles and elbows. You know, just heathen wench girl things. I think she took it a bit too far because one day she showed up to my doorstep because we're going out to Davis Square, and she had a huge hickey on her neck. Now, hickeys can be cute and flirty, I get it. But what this guy did to her was just straight up inconsiderate. Like, homegirl looked like she got hit by a baseball. Except the baseball was shaped like a 6 foot tall, pale, lanky Danish dude. like you know, that's foul play right there, guys. Like, we went out to Davis Square, and we walked by a homeless guy, and we were gonna give him some change because we felt bad, and then he said, "No, miss, are you okay? Miss, I saw her. Are you okay? Do you need help? Are you okay?" And I was like, you know, it's fine. You know, she just plays a lot of baseball at night. She's fine. She's just an athlete. But yeah, that is what I have for today. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. Hey, this is a free show, so you know, follow the comedians on social media. Donate to them on Venmo if you can. You know, remember, the more you donate, the faster they stop talking. So, $1 million show stops right now. Actually, give it to me. Erika was talking about political parties and kegs. Who do you think does more drugs, the Green Party or libertarians? The answer is Joe Rogan. The answer is Joe Rogan. All right, folks, we're going to keep this thing moving along. I'm going to bring up your next comic. This guy has traveled around the world on your dime, and now he pays it back one laugh at a time. Put your hands together for the wonderful James Mack, everyone.
Woo! Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's nice to be performing for Mark Twain. Oh my God. Didn't know we had celebrities in tonight. Yeah, I got to travel the world, y'all. I am a veteran. I do have PTSD, but if you ask my mom what my PTSD stands for, it stands for being pretty, tempting, sexy, and debonair.
Woo!
There you go. That's not what it stands for, but I'm not going to argue with my mom. So now sometimes when people find out I'm a vet, they're like, "Hey, James, thanks for your service." And usually I tell them, "No, thank you." Because for the whole time I was in, y'all paid for my housing and food, for my alcoholism, and for the shittiest vacation ever, y'all. So, yeah, most companies send you to places like Lake Tahoe and Disneyland. Y'all sent me to Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah. And if you don't know where those places are, I know you went to public school. Now, some people don't understand what all PTSD includes. So one of the things is it does come with a little bit of social anxiety, which these Zoom shows are great for. Because if I get real nervous talking to y'all, I can just shut the computer down. But I found out that doesn't work in real life. Like if I'm at the grocery store and the cashier's talking too long, they get real mad when you push their head down. But I've tried to explain to people about my anxiety, and it's kind of like there's a little fat kid in my head that's scared, except for I know the fat's not in my head. It's all right. And the other way I try to explain it is, remember when you were a little kid and you tell your dad there's a monster in the closet and pull the blanket up to your neck, and no matter how many times your dad told you everything was all right, you knew Uncle Bob was under the bed. So. Another part of it is I do get a little bit of paranoia, but everybody gets paranoid every now and again. You ever drive and you take a right-hand turn, car behind you takes a right, then you take a left, they take a left. All of a sudden you're like, oh shit. Is that the FBI? Is that my ex-girlfriend? And if you want it to be really, really scary, try being the car in the back and the car in front of you is taking the same turns you're about to do. Now you're like, oh fuck, the CIA has a time travel machine. In my case, it's just another fat guy going to the buffet. It's all right. So, yeah. I don't want you to think that everywhere I went was always bad. My first deployment ever, I was 17 years old and I got sent to Brazil. Yeah. And in my mind, that meant hot girls on the beach and playing soccer. Nope. Instead, I got the Amazon rainforest in the middle of the summer and spiders the size of coffee cups, y'all. Well, I'm pretty sure some of those spiders were racist, but I don't understand Portuguese. So. The other thing that was a lot of fun was I got to go to South Korea. And while I was there, I got to run into some interesting wildlife. And one of the things I got to run into was a Chinese water deer. And I know when I say Chinese water deer, in your thoughts, you're probably like, oh, that's like Rudolph with water wings and maybe dropping off some lo mein. And you'd be wrong and a little racist. But no, to explain a Chinese water deer, like they're about 6 feet tall and they have 6-inch fangs, y'all. And I'm talking about real 6 inches, not what guys put on Tinder. Come on now. Yeah. We used to call them a vampire deer, and the first time that I ever ran into one was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and essentially it looked like Bambi had been bitten by Twilight, but I'm talking Team Edward, not Jacob. Come on now. Yeah. But when we ran into him, we were like, oh crap, how do you kill a vampire deer? And my buddy Troy, we were coming back from breakfast, and he was like, dude, I still got a piece of garlic from the the Korean place. And I was like, awesome. And he pulls it out, and we'll miss Troy because he forgot the fact that deer are vegan. Yeah. No. One of the other things that's always a lot of fun is that some people always want to ask you if you're a veteran, especially a combat veteran. They're like, did you ever kill anybody? And I never understood why people want to know that. So, and why do you ask that? Because there's only 3 people that you ask that question of. Usually it's veterans, people from the Bronx, and yeah. And anybody with a Russian accent. So, but I always wondered, like, why can't they ask me about other things? I mean, I crochet. Why can't you ask me about my crochet and my hook and needle and everything? Like, come on, man. Gee. But I do have a little bit of fun with that particular question because I've had enough people ask me that now sometimes I'm like, oh, are you hiring? All right, y'all. My name's been James Mack. Thank you so much.
Give it up for James, everyone.
Yay.
Follow him on social media if you can. We got James Mack Comedy on everything, so it's nice and simple for y'all. I moved around a lot as a kid, so when people find out that I moved around a lot, they're usually like, "Oh, military family." No, indecisive. See the confusion though. See the confusion. Okay, we got a couple more people joining, so that's awesome. We're gonna keep the show rolling. I'm gonna bring up your next comic. You guys ready? I've seen her on the Women in Comedy Festival, the Boston Comedy Festival. Make some noise for the wonderful Kristin, everyone.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Good to be here. I'm feeling a little bit weird. I got my second COVID vaccine earlier today, which according to the CDC means that I can continue to kiss my dog on the mouth. So that is... I actually have 2 dogs. Yep, 2. The second one was unplanned. He's a rescue. I don't know if any of you guys rescued pets, but if you do, they make you take him to the vet right there before you leave with them. So he got checked out and the vet came out and they're like, okay, he's going to be fine, but he does have heart failure. Not a big deal. It just means that every year he needs to get an echocardiogram, and that is $1,000. And you just have to pay for it because there is no Obamacare for dogs. And I was just like, wow, no wonder this dog was free. That is my one dog. My second dog, he's older now. He just turned 15 recently. Basically, guys, I live in a dog hospice, is what I'm saying. It is really sexy over here. Last time my boyfriend stayed the night, and he was like, Kristin, I want to give you an erotic massage. I was like, that sounds amazing, but can you do me one better and rub my dog's arthritis leg? That would actually. My boyfriend has trouble sleeping, right? And so he's just horrible at it. And he told me, he's like, I can only sleep if I hear white noise. So I've been playing country music for him at night. I'm supportive. I do. I support him. I support him when he told me that he was going to quit drinking. I was like, that's healthy. That's good. But I did not know that meant he was going to order Shirley Temples everywhere. And not even share the cherries with me. I know. I have a birthday coming up. I won't say which one in case industry is watching. But I will say that it is a birthday that I was told by several people means that I will now be too old to do cocaine. So, that is something. My birthday party is going to be super boring, basically. I had a therapist, but she just quit. Yeah, it really does a lot to cure the fear of abandonment she diagnosed me with. I was like, is this a test? So trying to find a new therapist. I'm so bad at it because I can't have conversations like this. I'm such a people pleaser that like 10 minutes into the convo about why I need therapy. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been talking about myself the whole time. How are you? I'm on a medication, killing it. And I had to meet with a psychiatrist just to like make sure it was going okay. And she was like, you know, tell me about the meds I'm on or whatever. And she was like, now, this does have an interaction with like depressants. So like you can't do heroin on this.
Please.
Right. And I was like, isn't like don't do heroin kind of like just like medical advice generally? Like if I'm doing heroin and like I die because it interacts with my Wellbutrin, isn't that kind of on me? You know what I mean? Like, bad. Like, is she worried I'm gonna sue? Be like, she never told me. Oh man, weird. Quarantine's been rough for me. Like people say that like Shakespeare wrote King Lear during quarantine, and all I've written are jokes about killing myself. Or lies in my food journal. Tell you what I have written, and that is a tag to that joke. So clearly I am not quite ready for live comedy yet, right? I'm pretty close with my mom. Like geographically, she just lives upstate. So we're close. We hang a lot. We hang out. We look a lot alike too. People will be like, "Oh, she can't be your mother. Is she your sister?" Which she loves, but I hate because like we look alike, but she's 30 years older than me, and she's never used sunscreen. You know. She got upset once when someone said we looked alike. She was like, "We don't look that much alike, Kristin. No one ever thinks I'm pregnant if I wear a flowing top." Right. I was like, maybe because you're 60. You know what I mean? Like, no one thinks you're a marvel of modern medicine. I'll cuddle up to my mom sometimes, and then people will think that we're a lesbian couple. Which upsets me just because like I feel like I could do better. We get along really well. We do have one rule though, which is just we don't talk about politics because we just don't agree, so we just don't talk about it. But every once in a while my mom breaks her own rule. The other day she's like, you know, I miss Donald Trump. He just said whatever he wants. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. And I was like, cool. But how come when grandma did that, you put her in a home? Anyway, my name's Kristin. Thank you guys for listening.
Kristin. That was wonderful, everyone. Follow her on social media. She also has a podcast, Who Among Us. Did I read that right? Yes, I did. Who Among Us. Just check it out. Check it out. Listen, you were talking about heroin. I'm going to talk about opium. I found out, did you know that heroin is just opium, but like twice as addictive? That's why we don't have opium anymore, because we made heroin. But the opium wars were actually fought by the British over tea. And the more I learn about history, the more I realize how many wars were fought, because the British were just like crackheads for tea. Ridiculous. Like they were killing in the name of Lipton. Purring over brisk. Like it's just saying, no one tell the British about bubble tea, otherwise we're gonna have another war on our hands. Boba wars. All right, cool. Let's bring up your next comic. This guy is well known amongst the North Carolina comics. What do you got? There's like 2 of you or something. Those jokes for sometimes minutes at a time. All right, you might recognize him from his tweet that got 71 likes. Put your hands together for EJ Masicampo.
Hey, all right. Hello, this is great. What a fun room. You know, Peter was talking earlier about these attacks on elderly Asian people. I think they're intending to attack young folks, and they take one look at Peter and they're like, you know what? Let's find an old one. He's a buff Asian. I am in North Carolina. I'm raising 2 young kids here, and I have to admit, since having them, I feel so much less alone. Yeah, because now there are 2 other Asians in town. There's not a lot of us down here. I can't wait for them to grow up. I'm sick of being the go-to person for all things Asian. this guy asked me recently for directions to Chinatown. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so bad with directions, but I'm pretty sure Chinatown is my place. Closest thing. I always want to tell people here, the world is mostly Asian people. So you're the weird ones. Yeah, your houses smell funny. And people will talk about the Asian community. Yeah, that's Earth. And we don't all look, Asian people don't all look the same. If all Asian people look the same, there would be far more white guys trying to date me. The most annoying thing to me about just all the dumb Asian stereotypes out there is how many I confirm. It's annoying. My friends have all these romantic stories about how they met their partners. I met my kid's mom in grad school when I let her copy my stats homework. Yeah, math got me laid. What are the odds? I'm just kidding. I know them. When you're Asian, Peter mentioned tiger parents. When you're Asian, people assume your strict parents made you study. But look, I got A's despite a very challenging home situation. Yeah, my parents loved me. Do you know how hard it is to do well in school when your parents say they'll be proud no matter what? Yeah, I succeeded despite my parents' unconditional love. That's the Asian equivalent of the Against All Odds story. All right, I was in high school. This Vietnamese kid got a valedictorian. I always wanted to say, look, yeah, he got better grades technically, but I'm over here yelling at myself. I hate the stereotype that Asians eat dogs. I traveled all over Asia. I never saw it, yet white people love to mock Asians for it. Meanwhile, millions of white people are raising their kids on bologna. We don't even know what's in there. So so guess who's probably actually eating dog? Look, even if a few Asians are eating dogs, like, why is that weird when every culture eats animals? You know what I mean? Like eating dogs is weird. White people are dressing their dogs up like Harry Potter. All right, white people have an insane relationship with dogs. It's not right. There's a town in Minnesota where a dog served 4 terms as mayor. You know who's never been mayor of that town? A woman. It's not right. It was hard for me to feel manly growing up here. Like there were no Asian sports heroes. No Asian sports heroes, not even in the movies. And yet they made 5 Airbuds. Yeah, Hollywood thought it was less plausible that an Asian kid make varsity than a golden retriever. That's probably why they're eating dogs over there. Payback. Anti-Asian prejudice, it is on the rise, as Peter mentioned. I've experienced it. I went for a jog in the middle of the pandemic. I passed a jogger going the other way, and this really happened. As I passed him, the jogger yelled, "Thanks for the coronavirus." Wow. Yes. Who is that racist while trying to better himself? He's just he's in front of the mirror that morning. Come on, Gary, let's lose some pounds, gain some enemies. Or maybe he's just he's really wholesome, except for that one weird thing. Just during the day, it's bigotry and cardio. At night, when he goes to Klan rallies, he carpools in a Prius. I gotta say, whenever people are racist to me, it always feels so lazy. You know, you're gonna make fun of my skin color. How about the fact that I clearly haven't showered I have before. I do deserve to be in the show. Really, yeah, these racists, they're so lazy. I'm at a bar by myself. I'm poorly dressed. Like, you're trying to hurt my feelings. You point out my race. That's one of the few things I have going for me. You're right. I do belong to a supportive community. They're like, hey, just go back to Beijing. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't realize I looked like I was doing that well. You really think I could make it there? Racists always want to send me back to China, and if that ever did happen, my family in the Philippines would be so impressed by how well traveled I am. Everyone always assumes China. White people who learn Chinese love to practice it on me. Yeah, it happens so often. They actually are teaching me Chinese. Yeah, so, EJ, your Mandarin is impeccable. Are you being tutored? Actually, I'm being stereotyped. Thanks a lot. My name is EJ Masicampo.
Yeah. EJ. Everyone, that was awesome. Give them a follow. You got Twitter, Instagram, and Venmo. That third one is the most important one. The other two are optional. Come on, you're supporting Chinatown, North Carolina. Come on. Community. It's not just one person. Oh, man. Yeah. I was talking about Joe Rogan earlier. What do you think? What type of tea do you think Joe Rogan drinks? DMT? That was a bad one. That's a bad one. This is why we test jokes first, Jason. All right, it's about that time where we're going to bring up your headliner. Which is we want to bring the crowd up. So I'm going to test two more jokes. Guys. This guy, I'm very happy that he's here. He has firmly established himself as one of the best new acts in the Irish comedy scene. He co-founded and is a resident MC at a successful comedy night in one of Dublin's most iconic pubs. Give it up for John O'Keeffe, everyone.
Oh my God! Hello, everybody. Oh, I can't tell you how nice it is to have a bio read that you wrote yourself. Oh, oh my God! I didn't realize I needed that in my life. But you guys seem like a fun crowd. I'm here, obviously, in America, in a sense. It's great. I'm from a place called Limerick in Ireland. Affectionately known as Stab City. I guess because we don't have tourism, we have victims. Like, it's not that bad, but once I was on a date with a girl and I said, I'm from Limerick, and she asked why. I was like, so we could have this conversation, of course. Like, it's fine. I don't know. People are from shitholes. Like, I'm from a shithole. But, like, it's not that bad. I found a book on Ireland once, a travel guide, and I went to the Limerick section to find something positive about Limerick. The first line in the Limerick section said, there's not much positive to say about Limerick. And I was like, that's unfortunate, because that's the only reason I'm reading this travel guide. And I was like, it's got to get better. Surely it's got to get better. Second line was, Limerick has a gritty, crime-ridden feel you normally associate with large cities. And I was like, psh, we overachieve. I was like, but this can't, like, who printed this? This is like a hate crime. This has turned into hate crime territory. But my favorite line had to be, in 2008, Limerick was named murder capital of Europe, while Ireland was named safest country overall. I don't even think that's statistically possible, but listen, here's the thing, right? The best thing about being from a shithole like Limerick is still just not being from England. England, the Britain of itself. I got about a minute into my set before slandering the English. That's pretty late by my standards. Usually much earlier in my set. I have a shit job. They're going around. I teach ESL. I think you guys call it ESL. We call it TEFL, TEFL. Teaching English is a frustrated loser.
Oh my God.
And I say I teach English. Really, I teach my students about their fucking tenancy rights. That's my day. That's my whole day. I'm like, Flavia, you didn't actually have to marry your landlord again. It wasn't in the lease, Flavia. It's illegal. And Gustavo, 600 a month is pricey to sleep upright in a shower. My dad's confused. I told my dad I worked in TEFL. He was like, "You're selling frying pans?" And I was like, "No, but we should work in our relationship. This is upsetting." So a woman came up to me after the show, and all the comedians know this is a brilliant sign. And she was like, "You know, you shouldn't joke about teachers. They work very hard." And I said, "No, we don't." I mean, I would fucking know being one. And then she goes, "Well, I've got solidarity for other teachers." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you. You're a TEFL teacher?" And she went, "Psh, I'm a real teacher." I think it's pronounced real hypocrite. But life's not all bad. My girlfriend gave me a present for my birthday. She gave me a world's best teacher mug. Because that's where we are in our relationship, ceramics. World's best teacher mug. And I was like, if you're lying to me about this, what else are you lying to me about? Do you not like it when I cry? You know, I'm not a real teacher. World's best teacher. I'm not a real teacher. I'm a fucking TEFL teacher. That bitch was right. I'm not even a real TEFL teacher. I'm a substitute TEFL teacher. Do you know what that means? That means I cover for people too hungover to come into work and be better than me. Every fucking day I go to work, I think, is it possible to get fired from a fake career? As I go into a school and the students wouldn't have had a teacher for weeks or months, and they all look up at me like this. They go, "Are you my new teacher?" Exactly like that. Exactly like that. And I go, "No, but I understand why your real teacher left you." Drove them away with all your hope and your questions. And then they start crying and you have to comfort them. And you're like, "It's not your fault. Don't blame yourselves. And most importantly, don't blame me, okay? I'm just a fucking subrat. I don't care. I don't understand English grammar. Don't ask me any questions. It'll be embarrassing for the two of us." Like, all I'm saying is I didn't need a CV to get this job because the last teacher's in a fucking institution. And please, if I'm good for a week, don't be inspired. Anyone can seem good for a week. Look at God. Fucking, he was killing it for 7 days and then he tapered off there a bit towards the end. And I'm not God. I'm a fucking TEFL teacher. So, you know, manage your expectations. My favorite teacher, because I go into all these different schools, my favorite teacher in every school, there's always one ancient teacher who just horrifies me to my fucking core. This person's always like, I've been working since before dial-up internet, and I've worked in 11 countries and left each of them defeated. I look like an aging accordion falling into itself. The only party I'm invited to will be my funeral. You know, a bit like that. It's kind of... I love my job. I'm very positive about it, I have to say. I love my work. A lot of stereotypes about the Irish. I'm sure you're aware. I didn't know. I was a bit disappointed though. I thought we had the market cornered on fucking potatoes, but I see Idaho. I thought potato fuckers was our thing. I guess not. Erika schooled me there, but a lot of stereotypes about the Irish. But I think there is some advantages to marrying your cousin, personally. I'm not doing it myself. I'm just saying there's probably some good reasons. For instance, one, some people have hot cousins. You can't get away from it. You can't get away from it. Not me personally, but some people do. Another reason why it'd be good to marry your cousin. Your real friends will be supportive when you adopt. And look, the last thing is, like, even if you do something terrible like have an affair, yeah, sure, that's shit, but at least you're probably not fucking your cousin. So, just saying it's a benefit of sorts, you know, something to cling to. I mean, I'm O'Keeffe, a good Irish name. In fact, there's O'Keeffes on both sides of my family. This is true. Probably explains why me and my brothers all walk a little crooked. Except Kev, he's in a wheelchair. Like he's not disabled, he's just fucking lazy. Well, learn to drive. No, don't worry, it's all fine. I am Irish, obviously, but I think I'm bad at being Irish because I quit drinking, which I didn't realize is illegal. It seems. Because I thought I was protecting my liver, but really I'm upsetting Americans primarily in bars. You guys do not like it. you're always like, and please forgive the accent, but you guys are always like, John, how can you be Irish and not drink? And I'm like, the same way you can be American and not addicted to OxyContin. I mean, all things are possible if you believe in Jesus. But I quit drinking in a very stupid place, Edinburgh, Scotland, at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Now, for context, that'd be like giving up MDMA at Coachella or giving up anal in prison. You know what I mean? You can do it, but it's not going to work out too well statistically. But I got up in front of a crowd of Scottish people. I guess I was looking for support, and I kind of said to them, hey, I just quit drinking. And I grabbed her on the front row, kind of went, pussy. And I was like, fucking hell, I lost my street cred with the Almost Dead. And did you see there's a pattern of women abusing me in my life? It's very good. I don't know if I should tell you this anecdote or not. Will I tell you it? Fuck it, I'll tell you it. So me and my girlfriend went home for the first time to Limerick, and she was in bed. This is a pattern of me being a bad drunk. And I got locked out of the house, and I was horny. Because you know at the start of a relationship, you're fucking nonstop 2, sometimes 3 times a month. You know, it's out of control. It's out of control. So I was locked out of the house, and I climbed in my bedroom window, got into bed, and I gave the girlfriend an old feel, you know. Only problem, not my girlfriend, actually my father. So just to recap, what had happened was I'd gotten drunk, gotten locked out, and I'd gone into the wrong bed and touched up my father. But as I said to him the next day, Dad, what goes around comes around. That's usually the line in the set. Good to know. Okay. Good to know. He didn't really touch me. I just like to slander my father. You know the way. Because everyone thinks quitting drinking is this great thing, but it's not. I really thought it was going to give me all this energy and hope. But like, all you're left is feeling every ache and pain in your body that hangs around like a fucking unemployed flatmate. It's not good. And like, you're way less fun. Like, you know, no one wants to hang out anymore because gone are the days you'd break all the glass in your house just to see if you could wake the neighbors. Or gone are the days you'd wake up on some strange couch on your lawn. Or gone are the days you challenge a stranger to fight in a shed to see who is king of that shed. We've all been there. I have less friends. I actually had my favorite drinking buddy was this legend. I never actually met him, Blackout John, but he was the life and soul of the party. And next day, people would be like, do you remember what happened last night? And I'd be like, no, but what did he do now? I'm sure he's sorry. He's sorry for peeing on your baby. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. For sure. It's great to be here. I love Ireland and Americans. We have a lot of history there. But you guys got to be careful though, because there is one American that come over to Europe and doesn't do you guys any favor, and that's the really loud American that says stupid shit really loudly in public. I think it's like 1% of you. You got to lock those people up and stop them coming over here. Like I was in a castle in Europe, in Ireland, a 1,000-year-old castle, and I heard an American say to his friend, "God, what a beautiful castle, but it's a shame they've built it so close to that freeway." And I wanted to go up to him and be like, "You understand about time, right? It's an old castle." But I was in a Colosseum in Rome as well. I think it was an American guy. Sounded American anyway. And I was in a tour with him. He asked this tour guide in Italy. He said, "Excuse me, sir, are there plans to rebuild the Colosseum?" The tour guide stopped for a second. Then he went, "No, it's already built." Oh, I'm not sure if that was meant to be Mario or Luigi or just racist, but that stereotyped man is my fucking hero. Life is good. I recently had my 3rd niece, not bragging, but I'm getting pretty good at it. And she's really, I hadn't seen her because of the start of the pandemic, you know. And I was holding her in my arms. I got to finally see her, and I looked down, and I just couldn't believe the size of her fucking head. It was like not expecting that at all. It was like a pumpkin with a baby in it. I was like, what am I going to say? Like, how am I going to tiptoe around the elephant in the room? Like, you know, I'm not an award-winning actress. I was like, come on, John, think of the positives. Think of the positives. She'll never fall down a well. She'll never get lost in the sea of regular-headed babies. I remember when I walked over, I swear the first thing he said to me was, "Well, John, she's got some fat fucking head, hasn't she?" And I was like, "Kev, you know, I barely noticed, but now that you mention it, it's like you've had twins." I actually got her a fucking hat as a present, which was a waste of time. I had to return it for an adult sombrero. Still didn't fit, but it was the thought that counts. God, it's been tough. It's been a tough year. I got my Google timeline emailed to me recently. Do you guys know the Google timeline thing? I didn't know. They email you a fucking list of every place you've been. It's terrible if you're lonely or fucking committing crimes. But everything else. So I got my Google timeline for January. It was very interesting reading. It said cities visited 1, places visited 1, highlight Aldi. I was like, it was kind of interesting to see human suffering on a graph. You normally only see that in museums or looking at my family tree. But I was fucking outraged at how Google was tracking me. I've been to more places than that. I'm cool. I was like, this technology is making me look bad. Also, how dare Google track me like that entirely with my consent? You think they'd put that in those fucking terms and conditions I'll never read? Oh, God. No, I think I'm going to change search engine, folks. I'm going to change to fucking Bing or DuckDuckGo. Anything that sounds like it was named by a homeschool child. Who the fuck called it DuckDuckGo, and how much ketamine were they taking at the time? I could imagine that marketing meeting. Like, we need a memorable name. How about DuckDuckGo? Fucking memorable, not stupid. Get out of my office. DuckDuckGo just sounds like instructions to avoid a school shooter. All right, I don't really know where to go after that, guys. That's my set. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the time. You've been wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Give it up for John, everyone. That was awesome. Talking about school shootings, I don't think you guys have those over there, do you?
Well, only heroin at the back of the show. I have to put that tag in, actually. Fuck.
Follow John on his Instagram. He doesn't have Venmo, PayPal, because international, whatever. Check him out. But you know, that's been the show. This has been Comics with Cheryl. Let's do one more round of applause for everyone that performed today. I wanted to thank you all for tuning in. My name is Peter Lou. This has been Comics with Showered, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.